Okay, real question. Have you ever introduced yourself in English and the other person just kind of stared at you?
Oh no. Are we going there already?
We're going there because I think there's this moment, and it happens to so many people, where you say your name, you say where you're from, maybe your job title, and then you just stop. And there's this silence, and you're thinking, why isn't this working?
The dreaded silence. The silence that lasts 3 seconds but feels like 3 years.
Exactly. And the frustrating thing is, your English was fine, your grammar was fine, but something still felt off.
And that's exactly what today's episode is about.
Today, we are talking about how Americans actually introduce themselves in real life, not the version your textbook taught you, the real version, the one that makes people lean in instead of zone out.
And we're covering 4 different settings: casual, professional, social events, and online. Because the way you introduce yourself changes a lot depending on where you are.
So if you've ever felt like your intro sounds a little rehearsed, a little stiff, a little like you're reading from a form,
Which, no judgment, we've all been there.
then this episode is absolutely for you. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, welcome to English Podcast Daily, the podcast where we help you speak real American English, not textbook English, not I have been studying for 5 years English, real, natural, everyday English, the kind you actually use when you're living your life.
I'm Mary. I've been obsessed with language my whole life, like embarrassingly obsessed. I'm the kind of person who gets genuinely excited when someone uses a really good phrase in conversation.
She really does. I've seen it happen. She'll stop mid-sentence and go, "Oh, that's such a good way to put it." It's adorable and slightly alarming.
It is a little much, I know.
And I'm Alex. I came at English from a completely different angle. I was never a natural student. I learned by just throwing myself into situations, making a lot of mistakes, and slowly figuring out what actually worked.
Which, honestly, makes him perfect for this show, because he asks the questions that real learners ask, not the questions a teacher thinks you should be asking.
Basically, I'm the one who says, "Wait, why does that sound weird?" And Mary's the one who actually knows why.
That's a pretty accurate description of how this works, yeah.
So, English Podcast Daily. Every episode, we take one specific real-life English-speaking situation and we go deep on it. No boring grammar rules, no textbook drills, just real language, real examples, real conversation. And we always ask you to try something at the end, a little challenge, because listening is great, but using it is better.
All right, today's topic, how Americans really introduce themselves. And oh boy, do we have things to say about this one.
We really do. Okay, let's go. So, Mary, let's just name the thing immediately. What is the most common learner introduction we hear?
Okay, ready? Hello, my name is Sophia. I am from Brazil. I am a student. Nice to meet you.
And scene.
Right? And I want to be clear, there's nothing grammatically wrong with that. It's perfectly correct English.
It's just, it sounds like Sophia is applying for a visa.
Oh my gosh, yes. It sounds like a form. It sounds like, please fill in all fields before submitting.
And here's the thing the textbook never tells you. When you introduce yourself like that, the other person doesn't know where to go next. You've just listed facts. There's no opening. There's no invitation.
And that's actually the single biggest difference between a textbook introduction and a natural American one. The natural one always leaves a door open. It gives the other person somewhere to walk into the conversation.
The textbook one closes the door. The natural one opens it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's do the side by side. Same person, same information, completely different energy. Are you ready?
Ready.
Textbook version. Hello, my name is Sophia. I am a student at the university. I am from Brazil. I have been studying English for 5 years. It is nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm Sophia. I just started at the university this semester. I'm originally from Brazil. Have you ever been?
Did you hear what happened there? Same person, same basic facts, but one version sounds like a robot reading a profile, and the other sounds like someone who actually wants to have a conversation.
And the key thing Sophia did is end with a question. Have you ever been? That's what keeps the door open.
Warm smile. In American English, a good introduction almost always has a hook at the end. It's like a little invitation. You give your information and then you hand the conversation to the other person.
That's such a good way to put it. You're handing the conversation to them.
So let's talk about what those hooks can sound like, because this is where it gets fun. Depending on your situation, your hook can be really different.
Okay, give me an example.
All right, so let's say you're at a work orientation. New job, first day, someone sits next to you. Natural American version. Hey, I'm Sophia, just started in the marketing department. Is it always this chaotic on day one?
That's so good. Because first of all, just started. Not I have been working here since recently, just I just started. And the question at the end, is it always this chaotic? That's relatable, it's a little funny, and it gives the other person something easy to respond to.
Right. And think about what you're actually doing. You're connecting over a shared experience, the chaos of day one. Everyone gets that. Everyone's been there.
And that shared experience is gold in American small talk. Americans love to bond over situations they're both in.
Okay, I want to pause here and ask you something. Pause. Listener, when was the last time you introduced yourself to someone new in English? And what did you say? Try to remember it. Was it more like the textbook version, or did it feel more natural?
No judgment either way. Most people at B1 and B2 level stick closer to the textbook version because it feels safer. And honestly, that makes complete sense.
But today, we're going to give you something that feels just as safe, but sounds way more human. Okay, so let's break this down by setting, because this is where it gets really practical.
Setting 1. Casual social. Think a friend's party, a neighborhood barbecue, waiting in line at a concert, a weekend class, a gym.
In this setting, your intro is short, like really short. You're not giving a speech, you're just opening a door.
So the formula, if you can even call it a formula, is basically your name, one casual detail about why you're there or how you know someone, and then a question or a comment about the situation.
Let's do a mini dialogue. Alex, you're someone I just met at a friend's birthday party. Go.
Hey, are you a friend of Carla's?
Yeah, we went to college together. I'm married, by the way. Do you live in the neighborhood?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm Alex. I actually work with Carla. Just moved to this area a couple months ago, so I'm still figuring it out.
Oh, really? Me too, kind of. I've only been here like 6 months. What part of the city are you in?
Okay, stop. So let's unpack that. Did either of us say, my name is?
Nope. We just dropped our names naturally into the conversation. I'm married, by the way. That, by the way, makes it feel like an afterthought, which makes it feel more relaxed.
And still figuring it out. That phrase is great because it's honest and relatable. Nobody feels threatened by someone who admits they're still getting the hang of something.
And we moved really fast into a real conversation about the city, which is exactly what Americans do. The intro is just the entry point. You get in and then you start talking about real things.
Okay, setting 2, professional. This is the one a lot of learners worry about the most. A job interview, a work meeting with someone new, a conference, a networking event.
And here's the thing, professional doesn't mean stiff. Americans are generally pretty warm and casual, even in professional settings. Obviously, there are exceptions, like if you're meeting the CEO, you dial it up a little, but most professional American introductions are still pretty natural.
So what does a natural professional intro sound like?
Okay, so let's say you're at a business networking event. Someone walks up to you, natural version. Hey, I'm Mary. I work in UX design over at a tech startup downtown. What brings you to this one?
What brings you to this one? Love that. It sounds like you've been to others. It sounds experienced. It sounds like you belong there.
And I didn't say, I am a UX designer who has been working for 4 years in the field of technology. I said, I work in UX design over at a tech startup. Same information, but much more like a person and much less like a resume.
The phrase over at is doing a lot there too. I work over at a startup downtown. That over at just sounds so naturally American.
And notice I didn't give my last name. In casual and semi-professional American situations, people almost never introduce themselves with their full name unless they're handing you a business card or it's a very formal context.
That surprises a lot of learners, because in some cultures, the full name is really important in introductions.
Totally. And it's not wrong to give your full name. It's just that Americans often hold that back until it comes up naturally. Like, I'll send you my LinkedIn, and then they see the full name.
Okay, repeat after me moment. I want everyone to actually practice the professional version. Ready? Hey, I'm Alex. I'm in marketing. What do you do? Say it with me one more time. Nice and natural. Hey, I'm Alex. I'm in marketing. What do you do?
And the cool thing about what do you do is that it's the most universal professional conversation opener in American English. It's like a skeleton key. It opens almost every professional conversation.
And Americans love to talk about what they do. Not in a bragging way, just in a this is a big part of my life way. Work is a really common bonding topic in America.
Okay, so let's go to setting 3, because this one is a little different from the others. Setting 3 is when you're being introduced through someone else. A mutual friend or colleague introduces you.
Oh, this is such an interesting one. Because when someone else introduces you, there's this weird moment where you have to sort of take over. And a lot of learners freeze here.
Right, so the mutual friend says, "Oh, Alex, this is my friend Sophia. She just moved here from Chicago." And now all eyes are on Sophia and she has to respond.
And what does the textbook say to do? Nice to meet you. I have heard a lot about you. Which, fine. But there's a warmer, more natural version.
So, the natural American response in that moment is usually something like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I just got here like 2 weeks ago. Still living out of boxes, honestly." And then, "How do you know Carla?"
And that's it. You acknowledged the thing your friend said about you, you added a relatable detail, and you flipped it into a question.
Still living out of boxes? By the way, that's such an American expression. It means you've just moved and you haven't fully unpacked. It's warm, it's funny, it's relatable.
Okay, I want to check in with everyone listening. Which of these three settings is the hardest for you? Think about it for a second. Because everyone has a weak spot.
Mine used to be the professional one, honestly. I used to overthink it and make it too formal.
Really? Mine was always the party situation, because you don't have a reason to be there talking to someone. You just have to kind of create one.
And that's actually a skill, creating a reason to talk. But we'll come back to that.
Okay, let's talk about one thing that makes American introductions sound so much more natural, and it's something really small that learners almost never think about. And that is adding energy words.
Yes. Okay, explain this for everyone.
So, American speech, especially in social situations, has a lot of what I call energy words. These are little words or phrases that show enthusiasm, warmth, or personality. Things like, oh nice, oh wow, that's cool, no way, seriously? These get sprinkled into introductions constantly.
So instead of just saying, "Nice to meet you," which sounds fine but pretty flat, an American might say, "Oh, nice. I've heard a lot about this place. I'm Mary." Or, "Wait, you work in film? That's awesome. I'm Alex, by the way."
The energy word comes first. It reacts to the situation. Then comes your name, and it feels so much warmer.
And this is important. You don't have to be super enthusiastic. You just have to react. Americans read that reaction as warmth and openness.
Let me give you a little comparison here. Same intro, different energy level. Hi, I'm Sophia. Oh, hey, I'm Sophia. Oh, hey, I'm Sophia.
Oh my gosh, hi, I'm Sophia. I've been wanting to try this place forever. And all three are fine in different situations. Version 1 is fine if you're being really low key. Version 2 is the sweet spot for most casual situations. Version 3 is great if you're at, say, a restaurant pop up or a new class or somewhere with a built in excitement factor.
The point is, it's not about being fake. It's about letting your reaction show.
Okay, let's do another mini dialogue. This one is a networking event. You're standing near the coffee table because Americans always cluster around the food and coffee, by the way.
It's so true. The coffee table is where all the real conversations happen.
All right, I'm someone you just made eye contact with near the coffee. Go.
Oh, this line is taking forever. Are you here for the design panel or the marketing one?
Marketing, yeah, I basically live for this stuff. I'm Mary, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Alex. I'm in brand strategy, so there's a lot of crossover for me. What kind of marketing do you work in?
Mostly content and social. I work for a mid-size agency downtown. Have you been to this conference before?
First time, actually. I was kind of talked into it by a coworker, and I'm glad I came. It seems pretty legit so far.
Right? I was skeptical too, but the lineup this year is really good.
Okay, let's break that down. A few things I love in that dialogue. First, we started with the situational comment, the line, not, hello, what is your name? We just reacted to where we were.
And kind of talked into it. That's such natural American phrasing. It means someone persuaded you a little reluctantly. I was kind of talked into it. Very common, very casual.
And legit, you heard me say it seems pretty legit. Legit means legitimate, real, quality. This event seems pretty legit means it seems like a real quality event. It's informal, but totally fine in casual professional settings.
And skeptical, that's a great B2 word that Americans use all the time. It means you weren't sure at first. You had doubts. I was skeptical, but I'm glad I came.
Okay, repeat after me time again. I want everyone to practice this one. It's the most useful casual professional intro line we've done today. Warm smile. Clear, easy, natural. Hey, I'm Alex. I'm in brand strategy. First time at this one. How about you?
Say it with me one more time, smooth and natural. Hey, I'm Alex. I'm in brand strategy. First time at this one. How about you? Beautiful. And notice first time at this one. Not, it is my first time attending this conference. Just first time at this one. Shorter, faster, more American.
Okay, I want to get into something that I think is really underrated in self-introductions. And that is what you do when the introduction goes a little sideways.
Oh, yes, because it doesn't always go smoothly.
Right, like sometimes you introduce yourself and the other person doesn't really respond the way you expected, or there's a little awkward silence, or you totally blanked on their name 2 seconds after they told you.
The name thing, oh my goodness, that happens to everyone.
And here's the thing. Americans have totally natural ways to handle these awkward moments, and knowing them makes you sound way more fluent, because fluency isn't just the perfect moments. It's how you handle the imperfect ones.
So let's go through a few of these. First, you forgot their name. What do you say?
The most natural American thing is just to be honest about it, but lightly. I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Can you remind me? Or if you've been talking for a while, wait, I want to make sure I got your name right. It was...
Both of those are completely normal. Nobody thinks less of you for forgetting a name. It happens constantly.
Second situation, they didn't hear your name and you have to repeat it.
You just say it again with a smile. Mary, Mary, if you want to find me later. Or just Mary, yeah. No need to make it a big deal.
Third, they said something you didn't understand after you introduced yourself. What do you say?
Sorry, could you say that again? I missed that. Or even more casually, wait, what was that? Said with a friendly look and a little lean in. It's not rude, it's normal.
These recovery phrases are so important because a lot of learners go silent in those moments. They freeze. And the silence actually feels more awkward than just asking.
Exactly. Speaking up and asking is always the smoother move.
Okay, now I want to get into one more setting, and this one is a very modern one, because a lot of introductions happen online now, in Zoom meetings, in Slack channels, in LinkedIn messages.
Oh, yes, and the digital introduction has its own rhythm.
So let's say you're in a Zoom call for the first time with a new team or a new online class, and the host says, go ahead and introduce yourself quickly.
What does a natural American say in that situation?
Something like, hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm joining from Chicago. I've been in digital marketing for about 5 years, mostly in the startup world. Really looking forward to working with this group.
Really looking forward to working with this group. That ending is warm, but not over the top. It's professional and human at the same time.
And joining from, not I am calling from or I am located in. Just joining from. That's very standard video call language now.
And notice about 5 years. The about makes it feel more casual. I've been in marketing for about 5 years sounds more natural than the exact, I have been working in this field for exactly 5 years and 4 months.
Nobody says that.
Nobody. Okay, so let's talk about something we haven't covered yet. And that's how you introduce yourself to someone you've only met online when you finally meet them in person.
Oh, this is such a specific situation, but it comes up all the time.
It does. Like you've been emailing or messaging someone, and now you're finally in the same room. What do you say?
The most natural American thing is to connect it to the online context first. Like, oh, hey, are you Alex? I'm Mary. We've been emailing. It's so nice to finally put a face to a name.
Ooh, put a face to a name. That's a really common American expression. It means you've heard or seen the name, and now you finally see the actual person.
And it's so nice to finally. That word finally shows warmth. It implies you were looking forward to this meeting, which makes the other person feel good.
All right, let's do one more thing before we get to the recap. And this is the speaking challenge. I want everyone to do this one, either out loud or in the comments.
Yes. Okay, here's the challenge. Pick one of the 4 settings we talked about today: casual social, professional, being introduced by someone else, or online. Write your own natural American introduction for that setting.
1 or 2 sentences, just the key information plus one hook or opening question at the end. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to sound like a real person.
And if you're feeling brave, put it in the comments below. We love reading them. Okay, let's bring it all together. Natural recap time.
All right, so the big takeaway from today: your intro is not a form, it's a door.
If you open with warmth and a little invitation, the other person walks through that door and you actually have a conversation.
And the way Americans open that door is by keeping their name casual. I'm Alex, not my name is Alex. Adding one real-life detail that gives the other person something to connect to, and ending with a question or reaction that keeps things moving.
Thinking, the wrong version loads you up with information and stops. The natural version gives you just enough and then passes the ball.
And the energy words, oh hey, oh nice, wait, seriously? Those little reactions warm the whole thing up instantly.
Sincere. The recovery phrases matter too. Forgetting a name, not hearing something, asking someone to repeat. These are all normal, and there are smooth, natural ways to handle every single one of them.
And the digital intro, joining from, really looking forward to, put a face to a name, those work beautifully in modern professional settings.
Warm smile. Here's the phrase I want everyone to walk away with today.
One sentence that covers almost any casual or professional American introduction. Hey, I'm your name. One simple thing about you. One question or comment that opens the door. That's it. That's the whole thing. Natural, warm, human, American.
Okay, everyone, here is your speaking challenge reminder. Go to the comments and write one introduction using today's format. Pick any setting. Make it your own. We read every single comment, and we love seeing how you put things into your own words.
And if this episode helped you even a little bit, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find us, and more people getting to practice natural American English is always a good thing.
If you're not subscribed yet, come join us. We put out new episodes regularly, and every single one is built around real spoken American English, the kind that actually helps you in real situations.
We really appreciate you spending this time with us today. Introducing yourself sounds so simple, but getting it right, getting it to feel natural and confident,
That's a game changer.
Because the moment your introduction sounds like a real person, everything that follows feels different. People lean in, conversations open up, and you stop being the person who's nervous in the room.
You start being the person who just belongs.
That's the goal. All right, we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.
See you in the next one.